Welcome back to Stocklabs for another market recap. We finished November this week and started December on Friday. The week overall was okay. I think first 4 days of the week were kind of spent like sort of chopping around and then drifting upwards. And then Friday, December 1st, market opened kind of flat and then just had a gigantic squeeze, especially in the small caps and those sorts of stocks. So for the week, top performer was IWM, 3.25%. And actually, you can see this is Friday's performance, so the entire thing came on Friday. Dow was up 2.65%. S&P up 86 basis points, kind of lagging, and the Qs were flat, up 17 basis points, so not much out of them. All of the sort of squeeze type action was in, heavily shorted names. A lot of those are concentrated in the Russell. The widely held stuff didn't really do too much, and actually, more or less drifted kind of lower for the week. Crude was down 2%, so crude is still sliding lower. And bonds had a good week, 3.37%, and gold also up 3.5%. So pretty decent action overall, if you look at the week as a whole. If we look at the mega caps, you can see here Tesla was the outperformer, only up 1.4%. So not much. Apple is up 68 basis points. That's less than the S&P was. Amazon flat, kind of in line with the NASDAQ. The rest were all red. Microsoft down 0.7. NVIDIA down 2%. Google down 3.5%. Meta down almost 4%. So you see there was some give back in the Magnificent Seven, as they're currently known. If you look at industry performance, it was pretty good. Green across the board, outperformer. Financials up 1.75%. Industrials also up 1.73%. Services up 1.6%. Consumer up 1.25%. Basic materials up 1.2%. Even healthcare was up 1.5%. Tech kind of lagged, up 1.3%. Utilities up 115 basis points. So green across the board. And if we look at subsectors, we had a handful that were actually up over 5%. So gold and silver, precious metal stuff was running. I think gold either hit or is at all-time highs, 2,000 something an ounce. Silver tends to start catching a bit, like sort of a catch-up trade when people are very bullish gold. A lot of this is centered around the presumed pivot from the Federal Reserve, which has been priced in and out multiple times over the last couple years. Currently, we're pricing it in. So that's just how the momentum goes when that's the case. Rest of these, okay, there's some drug stuff, REITs, even airlines were up. Airlines are one of these perennial loser sectors, but they were up. Copper also up 5%. On the downside, not a whole lot. So barely. Chinese stocks are lagging, but only down 2.25% is not anything to go crazy over. Semiconductors being, it's only down a 1.25% here for these particular semis, but generally you don't want to see semis on the laggard list. So we'll see. If we look at breadth by market cap, 1 to 5 billion, up 3.2%, basically right in line with the Russell. 5 to 10 billion, up 3.6%, just a couple ticks better. 10 to 50 billion was up 2.6%. Not bad. 50 to 100 billion, up 2%. And Terra caps were up 1.32%, which is a pretty good week for them. So basically, we were seeing bullishness kind of all over the place, with the exception this time of the Magnificent Seven stocks that are, more or less vital to the index performances themselves. So you saw the Qs did not do too much this week. Intelligence for this coming week, we've got Tesla bullish, semiconductors bullish, and Google bullish. That's it. So Stocklabs kind of looking for maybe the Qs to press back up toward the highs that they put in like a couple weeks ago or something like that, like a week and a half ago, whatever it was. On the downside, we've got a handful of things. So Dow Jones Internet bull is bearish. I think the Dow was hitting all-time highs or something this week. I mean, the Dow kind of went straight up. It kind of made a similar move to the Russell. It's not a cap. Yeah, it's not a cap-weighted index, so it's not really as prone to these moves that the S&P and the Qs make around these Magnificent Seven stocks. But yeah, Dow hit highs, but Stocklabs bullish Dow Jones Internet stocks. Tech is bearish, or bearish tech is bearish, so bullish tech this week. Cannabis bearish as always. VIX bearish. It's kind of been the trend for the year. Natty gas is bearish, and Natty gas has been just on a relentless push lower. NVIDIA bear ETF is bearish. Inverse FANG is bearish. Another wheat ETF is bearish. Spare Semiconductors is bearish. Dow Jones Internet bear is also bearish, so it kind of cancels out this one. VIX bearish again, and South Korea bull ETF is bearish, so bearish South Korea or whatever. So yeah, I mean, I think in general you're kind of looking at probably a mildly bullish week. Maybe IWM pulls back again because those pure short squeeze moves, they kind of evaporate out of nowhere, and then it's back to there weren't any real bids to begin with, and they're still not there. So we did have a overbought signal on Friday on the market. So this would be the first one since second week of June. So yeah, and going back before that, there were a bunch coming off these lows early in the year. But yeah, this one is more like this one here. So Stocklabs says market's overbought. As far as what that means, let's see, 6 month overbought. You're looking at some more upside. I mean, maybe there's a little bit of early give back, but the last three signals that we have, they all ended up being bullish overall after about, let's call it a week. This is 1 week. This would be 2 weeks. So 1 week of bullishness due, as we would say, for the market. Not quite 12-month overbought, but 6 month is usually a pretty solid signal. So yeah, I would think early in the week, maybe you get some give back from just the Friday thing. I mean, Friday squeezes, nobody wants to be caught out over the weekend, and then, it all just snowballs, but then, it'll retest some lower levels on Monday. And then from there, probably we're just going to push higher again because the overall momentum in the market is good. Whether we're rotating back and forth from small caps to large caps, back to small caps, and whatever. I mean, overall things are trending higher. So it's kind of just day to day, one or the other kind of motif is chosen as the one to press. So yeah, I mean, market looks pretty good. We're into the final month. So yeah, I mean, probably you don't want to do anything stupid if you already had a good year, but there's no reason not to press some bets, probably at least for another week or so. And yeah, that's about it. So hope you guys have a good week out there, and talk to you later. Bye.